Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV Life Stories Part 2. But before we get into it, let's hit the intro. Yes, people, welcome back. Albert JTV's here. Life Stories Part 2. Firstly, I want to say I'd have liked to have done this show after an Arsenal win. But unfortunately, the boys didn't get the job done today. But I've got some amazing guests with me. First, as well, I want to thank the guys for watching my first episode of Life Stories. It was an education for me actually to get away from the sort of the blood and thunder of Twitter and Instagram and the to and throwing. So big shout out to James Rowe and Callum McFadden, you know, guys looking at it from a different point of view, player interviews, chief exec interviews, agents, brilliant insight. But further ado, guys, before we get into it, you should know what to do by now. And there you have it. So, guys, as you can see, I'm not alone. The Arsenal family is in the house. So I've got I've got one newbie, but I'm going to leave her till last because I want to give her the big build up. So starting with my bro, Mr. Anthony Republic of Arsenal. Welcome.
It's good to be back. Unfortunately, it's not all smiles today. I'll try. I'll do my best. But yeah, I don't know. Good to be back. This is brightening up my day, getting to see all your lovely faces and speaking to you. So yeah, look, forget about Arsenal. No, look, thanks for having me. Albert, I don't know, my head scrambled.
No, right. We're gonna touch on Arsenal first for a little bit, then we'll sort of move on to the main topics of why I've got my amazing guests you guys on. As you guys can see, people in the chat, thank you for jumping in. I've got their Twitter handles going along the bottom of the screen. If you haven't followed them already, I'm shocked. But if you haven't done it already, go and follow them now. I'm going to introduce my sister from the States, Jess. Welcome back. And how have you been?
I've been good. I can't complain. You know, just in these YouTube streets, you know, just creating content with everybody. You know, it's been awesome. Today, waking up at 4 to watch this was not great. Yeah, it's been painful, but you know, I can't complain, you know, so let's do it. I'm excited. Thank you for having me here.
No, the pleasure is mine. And my final, I've actually got two more guests. So he's running a bit late, Ryan. Hopefully he'll jump RJ Wills. But Sophie, thank you for coming on the show. We've had private chats talking about YouTube and everything else, but it is a pleasure to have you on, Sophie. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. I feel really happy to be on here with some great people. Sure, Arsenal couldn't win, but yeah, I'm really happy to be here. So thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to get you guys on. Like I said, I was hoping to actually talk positively about Arsenal, but we'll try and do it as balanced as possible. That's the nicest way I can put it. I'm going to kick off with Jess. Actually, we want to touch on the game first briefly. Just give me your thoughts from starting from what you thought about the team lineup and performance, first half, second half.
I mean, I think it's easy to say that, like, in hindsight, maybe Arteta should have chosen a different team. This is not the team I would have chosen for this game, just because we know Burnley is kind of like bully ball central. You know, they really want to kick us off the park. And I expected Willian, Aubameyang, and Saka to start, but personally, I would have started Pepe and Lacazette and Saka. But saying that, we still had we should have had too much for them. We should have won the game. we're much better side than they are. And they just played on Thursday. So we should have been fresher than them. So I think with Arteta, he went with freshness. I don't think this was the game for Odegaard either, but ultimately we didn't have a choice. He had a very Ozil-esque type of Burnley performance where it's very peripheral. It's very, I'm not in it because I'm getting kicked, so he didn't have a great game, but I think that's ultimately just him getting used to the league. And that's what I'm hoping it is. And I think this game is mostly about missed chances and individual errors. And I'm starting to look at missed chances as individual errors. As much as I love Saka, he should bury those chances. He's a top talent. I don't look at him as a 19-year-old that's just breaking into the side. I look at him as somebody that is a goal scorer for us. And if that had been Aubameyang or Pepe or Lacazette, we would expect them to finish those chances. So again, I think this game is just about individual errors and not finishing off chances. Arteta set up the side as good as possible to win the game and to create chances, and we just didn't do that. It was very poor, very sloppy, very slow. After Saka missed that chance at about the 30th minute, the air just kind of went out of the tire, and they just never recovered. The mistake, the Xhaka mistake that to me was also a Leno mistake is just another goal to catalog. And when are we going to see the end of this? It's every 1 to 3 games we see something like this. When's the last time somebody's actually scored a good goal against us that wasn't self-inflicted? We have to go really far back. Manchester City, Aston Villa, Leicester, all of these are self-inflicted. So I don't really know how to feel. It feels like a loss, obviously, because I think that this solidifies mid-table for us. I wouldn't be talking about making it into the European places at this point, because if you can't beat Burnley, I mean, we really needed to win this game. It's very disappointing, but almost not it's not unexpected. So that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah, Jess, couldn't have put it better. I'm going to bring in my debutant, my superstar striker from the bench, Sophie. Yeah, sort of the same question to you, Sophie, in terms of what did you make of the team lineup and the performance you saw with your own 2 eyes?
Well, when I saw the lineup, I wasn't overly happy. I think I would have liked seeing Lacazette, Pepe. I think they deserve to start, but I do understand why Aubameyang played, because he's a captain, he's a goal scorer, and he does deserve to be on the pitch. I was a bit surprised to see James playing as well, because he's not played for a while. I was expecting Cedric or Bellerin to play. But yeah, I think it was okay. I think Arteta went right with it. Just a few things I didn't agree with. And the performance, I thought the first half we were playing some really beautiful football. I thought that probably the best football team was playing in a while, but again, we didn't take our chances and we let them come back into the game. And yeah, I think it's just very disappointing, because it was the 20th minute and I was thinking we're only 1-0 up. This is going to cost us later on, and it did. And I think the Xhaka mistake, I think it was partly Leno as well, because Xhaka was in an awkward situation from the back and there was defenders near him and Leno could have just kicked it out. So I do think it's a bit of both. But yeah, I think it's just disappointing that we couldn't come back to it in the second half.
Yeah, Sophie, just going to sort out her audio a little bit. I could hear a little bit what she's saying, but it's just break up a little bit. Ryan, good timing, my friend.
What's up, people?
Not too bad. We haven't got too far in, mate. We just Jess has given her opinion about today's game. Sophie just gave hers, but she's just breaking up a little bit. Hopefully she'll come back on. I'm going to come to you, actually, Ryan. Yeah, what did you make of the team lineup and the performance from what you saw?
The lineup, I wasn't really too bothered about it, to be honest. I mean, Willian or Pepe starting, I didn't mind. I thought Saka would have been better today, but oh well. But performance-wise, started off all right, and then obviously the goal happened, and then after that, we just basically said to Burnley, "Okay, come on, come at us." And I didn't really agree with the substitutions personally. I would have kept Odegaard on. I don't know. The whole Lacazette, should he have started instead of Aubameyang? There's that, but Aubameyang did get the goal, so that's kind of justified. But once Lacazette came on, Aubameyang kind of disappeared when he went on to that wing, personally. Ceballos, personally, I would have. The thing is, yeah, this is what annoys me, because it's like Ceballos coming on for Partey. I would have left Partey on, because at that time, for me, I didn't think Partey was all leggy or tired or anything. And the reason why I would have took Xhaka off, because of the mistake, because if you go back to the Europa League game where Ceballos made the 2 mistakes, he got hooked off. I didn't really think that was kind of fair. I thought, okay, at the time, I thought, okay, Ceballos come off. Yeah, he needs to come off. But Xhaka making that mistake, and I heard what you're saying, Sophie, as well, Leno's partly to blame. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying when you say that. But also, I think, because Xhaka made a mistake, he should have got hooked off as well. So I didn't really think that was really justified. But ultimately enough, I just think it's just down to poor finishing. We didn't do enough in the first half to take our chances. The VAR situation, listen, it just happens to us a lot. Do you know what I mean? I'm not blaming the loss on the referee, because it's just weak. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we should have got it, but that's weak. I'm not saying that as an excuse. We should have buried our chances, and ultimately it just wasn't good enough. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
No, Ryan, I did catch a bit of what I think I saw a bit of what you were saying when we had a private chat before I did the live stream. I had a lot of private chats before the live stream, to be honest with you, a lot of WhatsApp groups. It's deja vu, isn't it? Let me bring in Anthony. Mate, how was your thoughts about the team lineup? And to add even more to that, I wanted to talk about the 2 penalty incidents as well, incorporating what you thought, mate.
Yeah, when I saw the lineup initially, if we hadn't have lined up quite, I'd say, weak against Leicester, I probably would have been a bit more concerned looking at that team. But this is Arsenal. They like to give us a bit of false hope. They like to trick me, especially, and make me look foolish on Twitter. So they put out a pretty poor team against Leicester. So of course, me being naive, looked at that team today and said, well, look, we did it against a better side. We should be able to get through this Burnley team, regardless of who we have out on the pitch. I can understand the rotation. We've got important games coming up, Olympiacos, Spurs, and then Olympiacos again. So I can understand. Some of it, to me, though, was a little bit maybe arrogant, in a sense of maybe Arteta was slightly writing Burnley off a little bit as well. The inclusion of Chambers, a guy who hasn't really featured at all. So to stick him into a game like this, maybe a little bit arrogant. And I kind of felt that in Arsenal's performance. We went the goal up, and we almost thought we were Man City for a while. How Man City played against us when they were a goal up and decided, you know what, this team can't hurt us. We can take the foot off the gas. We can play it at our pace, and we'll just completely relax, and we don't really need to do too much to win it. But we're most definitely not Man City. We're not that good. We're not as good as our players obviously feel they are at times. So yeah, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all. In terms of chances and that, and touching on VAR and the penalties. Yeah. Before I even say anything about the penalties, the Xhaka mistake, the penalty calls, it all should have just been a formality. That game, it was like the Wolves game. We could have been about 3 or 4-0 up before any of that even happened. And we spoke in the past. It's lack of organisation, lack of leaders in the team. To me, it's just complete lack of killer instinct. We have absolutely, we just know killers in that team. We've nobody that can just punish. We don't have any. We don't have any kind of nasty players in that side. Like, we're always the team that gets bullied. Yep. We're always the team, we're too soft. Even when we're dominating the side, we rarely put them away. Even Leeds, like, we were 4-0 up against Leeds.
Yeah.
And we still allowed them back in that game. And it seems to be happening week in, week out. No matter how well we play, we don't sustain that for a full 90 minutes. And I can understand if you're playing high intensity football and that, yeah, look, you're going to get tired at some point. But at least wait till you're about 3 goals up, you know, before you start switching off. Like, as I said, like, we're not that good that we can afford to take the foot off the gas as much as we do. And to me, it just felt as though the players are going through the motions and sort of said, yeah, look, we know Burnley aren't great. We know that they're not going to punish us, but Arsenal being Arsenal, and again, Albert, this is something we spoke about in the past, like, we're masters of our own demise. Okay, Burnley probably weren't going to hurt us, but like the first time we played them this season, they didn't hurt us. We hurt ourselves with an Aubameyang own goal. They weren't really causing too many problems for us in the first half, so we gifted them an opportunity. We just cannot keep that concentration. And with Granit Xhaka, I can see, you know, the argument. Leno should have cleared it. He should have. But it came to Granit Xhaka, and I have defended Xhaka plenty in the past, and I'm not going to absolutely slate him. But look, it's a complete lapse in concentration, and it's too casual. And it's not the first time we've seen that. We've seen him do that against Benfica right before half-time, playing the ball across his goal and giving it away to the opposition. So, look, it's individual errors, and I know individual errors they're not coached by Arteta. So I'm not saying, look, this is Arteta's fault, but I do have to point the finger at Arteta a little bit here. And you know, Albert, I frustrate people because I'm always in defence of Arteta as much as I can be. But no, I have to point the finger here today, because I think he has to understand he's setting the team up to play the way they're playing. He doesn't have the calibre of players to play the system he wants to play. It's suicidal football, playing the ball back when you have players like Xhaka and David Luiz who have mistakes in them. You know, you're playing it back to the goalkeeper, he's under pressure, and like, who are you giving the ball to? It's going to be Granit Xhaka, David Luiz, or whoever you want to throw in there that's capable of making a mistake. We just don't have the calibre of players. Now, I think Arteta needs to realise this. He has to take a step back and say, look, I've tried implementing the style I want to play. The players just don't have the football IQ to play this. And he has to accept that while these guys are still at the club, he may have to kind of meet them halfway and say, look, I've got to change the system around that's going to suit your level, because he's not at Man City anymore. He hasn't got Kevin De Bruyne. You know, I honestly think he's comparing what he used to work with to what he has now. And possibly. It could be a stubbornness of the guy. He's saying, well, no, I see these guys on the training ground every day, and maybe he's fooled himself into believing, no, Granit Xhaka can do the same job these guys at City can do. You know, I just don't know what's going on there. But look, for the penalties, the first one, look, I put it out there as well. Initial call, I said, that's a penalty all day.
100%.
And then, look, maybe I was swayed slightly listening to the commentary team, and they talked about, you know, the proximity rule. And then I put myself in the shoes of the defender, and I sort of said, okay, look, if I'm a defender, maybe I could say a little bit harsh, you know, couldn't really get himself out of the way. And if the letter of the law is proximity, you know, his arm wasn't apparently, you know, in a unnatural position, he couldn't get out of the way. That's fair enough. That's okay. But that leaves me questioning, you know, it happened to Southampton early in the season. You know, was it Ryan Bertrand? I think same thing happened to him, and a penalty was awarded. And then there was a penalty the other night. It was in the Fulham game.
Oh my God! I couldn't believe that was given.
So look, I can
ridiculous.
It's crazy. Like I can live with these decisions if it's consistent and across the board. It is getting to a point, and I hate being that guy. I hate being the guy that says, you know, they're against us. We're not getting decisions every week, blah blah blah. Because we all look at our own clubs, and like Chelsea fans will tell you the same. Liverpool fans say the same. It is getting to a point now where I'm going, like, come on, like, where's the consistency here? The only consistent thing I can see is when it's Arsenal, there seems to be a VAR decision every week going the opposite way that it should, you know. And like I said, there's 2 cases that are the same as this. So out of the 3, you know, it's again Arsenal are the one case that didn't go the right way. But the second one I've absolutely no issues with. It came off his shoulder, so I've no problems with that. But look, to sum up the performance, as I said, we wrote them off and we got punished for it. And I think it was the same when we played them the first time. We wrote them off, got punished. And look, I put my hands up as well, and I was saying, you know, we should have enough about us to beat Burnley. But look, the problem is Arsenal tend to beat Arsenal week in, week out, don't they? So sometimes the opposition isn't the thing we need to fear most. It's our own starting 11.
No, good points, Matt. I want to finish up with talking about the game today, but I want to bring in Sophie and Jess. I'm going to bring in Sophie first. The subs and the Martinelli ever continuing saga. Sophie, what was your thoughts on the subs today, and where do you stand with the lack of use for Martinelli?
I wouldn't have brought Odegaard off personally, because I thought out of a lot of the players he was having the better game. I thought Saka probably should have came off maybe, because he was a bit like, I think he was going to get a red at one point because he got a yellow, and I was a bit concerned. But yeah, and Martinelli as well. I really feel sorry for him, because like I know he's had an injury and we want to protect him, but you could at least play for 60 minutes or bring him on in the 70th minute or 60th minute. He needs time to play because he's been wasted, like his talent. So yeah, I just think like journalists need to ask Arteta more questions about Martinelli, because like I personally think he would add a bit more than Willian. Like I know Willian got an assist, but I just personally think he would add a bit more into his team.
No, what's good said. Let me bring in Jess. What's your thoughts of the same question? What you thinking?
So, in regards to Martinelli, I just think that if we go back to the Manchester United game and kind of look at what happened there, he was applauded for that run that he made to stop whoever that was from scoring that goal. He had like that goal-saving or game-saving header, defensively against Manchester United. But what people I don't think are taking into account is the reason why he had to do that was because he was out of position. I think as much as we love Martinelli for his energy and his go-getter type of mentality, it fights with the tactical part of what Arteta wants. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, because I think that for certain players you just kind of have to let them loose. But for a manager like Arteta, everything is about positional awareness and the tactics. And Martinelli needs to be reined in. His energy needs to be harnessed so that it can be used in the system. It's the exact same reason why Arteta defers back to Willian, is because as basic as Willian is, the things that he does in the system is for Arteta more steady and consistent than what he gets from Pepe. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's how I view the Martinelli situation, is that when he was first playing for Arteta, we weren't playing the system. Arteta had just come in. Now that he's solidified what he wants to do, Martinelli needs to develop as a player to play in this system for Arteta. That's pretty much how I see that. So yes, I would love to see Martinelli play more, but I think until he gets that, like Pepe has changed his game a little bit in order to be able to get more minutes, it's the same for Martinelli. For the substitutions, I just don't understand what Arteta did wrong. Odegaard was unable to get onto the ball, and I think to a certain extent Arteta knew that he needed to get somebody who could get on the ball and either get a foul or find Saka or find somebody a lot quicker. And Odegaard was just, again, like I said, he had a very Ozil-esque type of performance today. And that's not really about him. He's a brilliant player, but it's just these types of games are not good for players that don't want to get kicked. So for me, bringing Lacazette on was fine. I like that he immediately corrected. He took Lacazette from the 10 position and put him back up and kind of moved Saka into that 10 position. I thought that worked. I thought that's the best Saka looked during this game, was at the very beginning of the game and at the end of this game when he started to connect, with Tierney and with Aubameyang and with Lacazette. That was really the difference between us looking completely dead and having those chances at the end of the game. So for me, the substitutions were not a big deal. I just don't think, and he actually did them a lot earlier than he usually does. Usually we're complaining about them being in the 70th, 80th minute. He started subbing at like the 60 something minute. So I think he recognized that it just wasn't working. The team was just poor, but Pepe did do something that I think we've criticized him about in the past, is coming off the bench and making no no difference. He made an impact today, and I think if he gets the penalty or he finishes that one chance from Kieran Tierney, we're talking about something completely different. It is an egregious a chance to miss. You know, again, these are individual errors as well, but if he gets that penalty, I think we're talking about it a lot differently. So I'm not too fussed about the substitutions, to be honest.
Okay, cool. Guys, thank you for your awesome contributions, man. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button already, smash it, kick it, poke it, like I keep saying. Hit the like button and follow my esteemed guests on their social media and their channels as well. I'll quickly say my bit because I've already done a match review and I don't want to be repeating myself, but I'll have to do it anyway because I have to talk about the game. But for 37 and a half minutes, 38 minutes, however long it was, we was comfortable. We was in control. We had chances to go 2-3-0 up. We didn't take them. Again, not being ruthless. No cutting edge again. As for the goal conceded, I mean, yeah, Leno and Xhaka. You know, there's no other way to look at it, really. Leno didn't really do him any favors, but, you know, Xhaka, it just, unfortunately, he's put himself in the spotlight again. As for the second half, I think the issue in the second half for me watching it was I thought the first 15-20 minutes was scrappy from both sides, and it probably suited Burnley. And I said this on my review. It's a weird one. Even though we had the chances to bury the game, if Burnley had snuck that victory, I'd be honest, I wouldn't have been surprised. Leno, you know, it would the effort was straight at him with the 1-2-3 play from Chris Wood and Matty Vidra, but it literally could have gone either way. Pepe missed a golden chance. That was a very good chance. And Jess, you make a good point. He actually came off the bench and made an impact, which makes you think as to why he didn't start. I mean, I look at our last 3 games. There's been 5 changes twice and 6 changes in 1 game. And yeah, he didn't feature today. Like I said, that team was good enough to give Burnley a beating. Facts. You know, we can argue the toss about the team lineup as much as we want. That team was good enough to go and get the win at Burnley. We knew it'd be a tough game. Burnley get the ball wide, crosses from deep, crosses from the wide areas. Even their crosses weren't even that great in the first half, so it's comfortable to deal with. But again, self-inflicted, unfortunately, guys. But enough about that. Let's get into the main topic of the show. Yeah, I'm going to kick off with RJ. Let me get my little thing up. What made you support Arsenal? Best memory, worst memory. Kick it off, my friend. What's the story?
What made me support Arsenal? I think it was just people in my primary school. Like, I was into football, but I didn't really have a team. I was just watching everybody. And then I think one time I must have went to a friend's house. And I remember, I think it was Arsenal versus Newcastle. You know, the Bergkamp. That moment, I saw that. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, what the hell is that? And I think from then, I've just kept on watching Arsenal. And then, ultimately, I just became a supporter. The best memory, that could be up there as well, actually. But I think just going a whole season unbeaten, that invincible season was everything to me. I mean, going in Brown in school, everyone was like to me, "Oh, you're gonna lose this week." All right. Coming in every Monday, yeah. What happened? just putting in people's faces, you know. I think, yeah, for me, obviously when I was a lot younger, yeah, and that was definitely it. But the worst moment, oh God, I think there's too many. I think.
No, you can only pick one. Just one. Listen, it's bad enough we got the draw today. Just one.
Oh, all right. If I really, really have to pick one, it's probably the Champions League final. That crushed me. That's probably like the first time I actually teared up. That hurt so much.
Listen, be emotional, man. It's fine, man. Be in touch with your feelings, man. It's fine.
But no, that killed me. The moment Labour got sent off, I thought, oh no. and the amount of quality players that Barcelona had, like Eto'o, Ronaldinho, I think Julie was there as well. I mean, jeez, and then the way after Campbell scored, I got excited, and then the rest is history. I don't really want to talk about the rest.
And remember, Ryan, remember that game? Henry had that golden chance, and I know he regrets it. Even he's mentioned that many a time in his interviews about that chance he had to make that game 2-0 and bury it.
I do, you know. Do you know what? That was probably buried deep in my mind. Thanks, Albert. That was the saddest day ever. There's more, but that was the one for me.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your story. I'm gonna bring in Anthony. Yeah, Anthony, where did it sort of start for you and sort of earliest memories and why Arsenal, my friend?
Because I'm absolutely mental, and well, nowadays I'm starting to consider my own mental health, like still rocking an Arsenal top. No, but I'm third generation Arsenal fan. My granddad was an Arsenal fan. Despite my accent, my dad was born in London, actually close to Stamford Bridge, funny enough. But
God.
Yeah, he picked it up. He picked it up from his dad, so they passed it down to me. So yeah, thanks lads. And that's where I got it from. So I picked up the bad habits from the dad and the granddad. My best memory, actually no, I just want to get the worst one out of the way. Yeah, same as RJ, just that Champions League final. Not even just because we lost in the biggest club final that there is, the most prestigious competition in club football. Not just because we lost that, but like it was almost like the end of an era. We lost that, and you just kind of knew. I know we have hindsight now; we can look back and we knew how bad it was, but you kind of just knew that was the end. The beginning of the end. You sort of looked at that team, and we definitely exceeded expectations. And even on that run, we went like 10 games in the Champions League without even conceding a goal, with a makeshift back four. You knew we weren't going to repeat that again. That was kind of our one and only chance. Had we gone on and won that final, we could have been talking about numerous Champions Leagues. But you sort of knew these players weren't going to hang about. I think Henry, was kind of almost 1 foot out the door to Barcelona at that stage, and. 100%. Yeah, you just looked at that team and said, this was the chance to hang on to these guys. And you could sort of just sense it. But yeah, we saw what happened after that. My best memory, again, I thought about this for a while, and I thought, I could throw out the invincible season, I could throw, winning FA Cups, leagues, whatever. But just kind of from a personal point of view, my best memory, look, I absolutely, as a kid, idolized Thierry Henry. He's my favorite player. When I played football, I used to wear the number 14 shirt. I used to pull the socks up like him. Everything was Thierry Henry. The lads used to call me Thierry Anto when I was playing football. I literally idolized the guy, and tell you, it broke my heart when he did what he did against Ireland for France.
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, that could be up there on my worst memory. But it's not an Arsenal one. But I tell you, I had to do some defending. I think it was the one Irishman that was defending Thierry Henry there. But my best memory was when he came back and came on against Leeds and scored that goal in the FA Cup. And I know, look, it's just an FA Cup game and whatever, and it wasn't a cup final or anything like that. But the significance of your hero coming back, and he came on and scored the goal that won us the game. It was just it was a beautiful moment.
And great stories, man. That's better than Jack and Nori. That story. Listen to that, man. So, Jess, from stateside, I'm interested to hear actually your Arsenal sort of journey, and why Arsenal, and like your memories, like best and worst for you, Jess.
Well, I mean, I used to play growing up, so that's kind of where it started. I started playing when I was like 6. And I was one of the only girls that actually was obsessed with the game to the point where I wanted to watch it. Like most of my teammates hated watching, but I lived for it. Like in between playing games, I watched games. So, but in America at that time, you could only really catch like MLS games and some of the US women because they were just kind of getting real good. And so maybe some of the Mexican league you would be able to catch, but at a certain point they started to show some of the Premier League games on television out here. And but they were only going to play the best teams, the best games, that kind of stuff. So it was sparing. It wasn't a lot. And so we were looking through the games, and the first Premier League game I actually ever saw, or the first team I ever saw, was actually Manchester United. And, the levels between that and the MLS were really different. So obviously I was like, this is my team. So I was a Manchester United fan for like 2 days until we saw Arsenal.
No.
So, because that's all I had seen. Like,
Well,
that's all I had seen.
I'll let you off.
And at that point they had like, Dwight York and them. So they were really good too. And then, we were searching through the channels and there was an Arsenal game on, and I was like, wow, like this is definitely my team, because for me, I was always the only Black kid in my class, Black kid on the team. And this team was full of Black players and they were amazing, so for me, that was really influential. I couldn't even pick a favorite player at that point. It was like, it always, kind of bounced between whoever was touching the ball at that point was my favorite player. I couldn't really choose. And so for me, that's pretty much my story. I never went back after that. Like, I love this team so much and I love the club. And it feels like, for somebody that watches football that's from America, you feel like you're joining a community that you're supposed to be a part of, and it just feels like family, and that always felt great. So, and then my best memory, well, I'll start with my worst memory. I really two that are, that really stand out to me, but I don't want to say the Champions League final because that's what you guys said, but I would say the 8-2 versus Man United was one of the worst ones. I mean, at that point I was very like, wow, this is brutal. And Baku, for sure. Both of those. Nothing gets worse than either of those, really. And they still talk about the 8-2. And I don't think Baku's going away anytime soon either. Best memory for me, there's so many. Like, there's so many. But if I had to choose one,
Just one.
Yeah, just one. Let's just say, so difficult. I'll say winning the league at Old Trafford, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
they tried to kick off
that one. That one. Yeah, that's got to be it for obvious reasons.
Yes. This is beautiful memories. I needed this cathartic talk after the dismal performance earlier. But bringing in Sophie, yes. So, what's your sort of earliest memories of Arsenal, and sort of your best memories and your worst memories?
Well, I've actually only supported Arsenal for about 4 or 5 years. And I actually, growing up, my family were Liverpool fans. I used to watch Liverpool growing up, and I just feel like doing my cup of tea. I didn't like the style of play. It was a bit boring. And then I remember Arsenal Liverpool played, and it was 1-1, but I was just so enjoying
Sorry,
and I felt like
you're just breaking up a little bit. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're gone.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So I remember watching a game versus Liverpool and Arsenal, and we drew 1-1, but I didn't care about the result because I just loved the way Arsenal play, and then I loved Arsene Wenger as well, and like ever since I just supported them, basically. And I would say, my worst memory had to be Europa League last season because I can't even remember when it was, but it was just so bad. I think what was bad about it was a lot of Arsenal fans were so confident we were going to win as well. Like I was. I thought we were going to do it. But no, typical Arsenal bottle it. My best memory, it's quite difficult to be honest. I think
it is going to be hard.
Oh God. I really enjoyed winning the FA Cup for Arteta,
Yeah,
because
100%.
I didn't actually
Yeah.
think we would beat Man City, we would beat Chelsea, and I didn't actually expect us to do it. So that would probably have to be my favourite memory.
No, that's fair point. No, listen, I don't. If Arsenal fans are honest, right, even for the most blind loyalist, overconfident people, when we went into that semi-final, particularly semi-final, not so much the final, the semi-final, they're talking about cricket scores. You know, Arsenal just need to keep the score down. We need to play 9 at the back. We heard everything, man. Trust me. But no, Sophie, it's a good point. Like you said, you've been on your Arsenal journey for like 4 or 5 years, so it's weird because I'm 21 plus VAT, not to let anybody else know. But so when I was growing up, it was a case of you support a team who were the most successful, but you've been supporting Arsenal during a period where it's been tough, man. Like it's not been enjoyable at all. So no, fair play to you, man. Fair play to you. But yeah, I'm gonna obviously go to mine. Hopefully it should come up. I've said to people my sort of Arsenal journey. First memories I'd say personally was the 88-89 season. I mean, it's not even being biased. I just think that's the best ever finish to a league campaign ever. We went and beat a team in Liverpool who had, listen, they had John Barnes, they had Aldridge, Ian Rush, Alan Hansen at the back, Bruce Grobbelaar in goal. You don't go to Anfield and win. You shouldn't even be allowed to turn up at the ground, let alone go in and play on the pitch. They were that good in them times. So to go and win a league title in the way we done it, and it was incredible. I was very, very young at the time. I say to people, I don't remember the season because I was very young, but that game, I will never forget that game for the rest of my life. I just would have loved to have been a fan at Anfield that day. That must have been incredible. They're probably still Arsenal fans trying to find their way home now from Anfield back in 89. It must have been that good. But worst memory, this might surprise some people actually, because obviously I touch on what Anthony said about the Champions League final. For me, I remember I said to my time, I was my ex-girlfriend at the time, right? And she rang me. She knew when not to call me and when to call me. Trust me, when it comes to football. And I remember, I said to her, I remember it like it was yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm not sure Arsenal's ever going to get back to this position again. You know, I remember saying them words exactly that day, and it wasn't. And you know what? It's rung true. But no, the worst memory actually, believe it or not, was the final in Baku. I'll tell you why it was. At least when we lost to Barcelona, as tough as it was to take, we played a top side. No disrespect to Chelsea. But, you know, it was the way Arsenal played. In the Champions League final, we was down to 10 men. You've got to remember that for a majority of the game. But with the Europa League final, that second half performance, I've only ever said in my time, the only ever time I felt embarrassed as an Arsenal fan was that night. And that's strong words to say. I thought the second half performance was a disgrace, if I'm being honest with you. And my big issue I said to Anthony the other night on Gunnar Solskjaer's channel, I think 6 or 7 of those players that started that game are still at this club. And that's a big, big issue for me. But yeah, best memory, hopefully this should work on the screen. Let me get the pictures up. Because I'll tell you why it's my best memory for me is because it's the last time we won an European trophy, thanks to this man, Alan Smudger Smith. Absolutely pandemonium. And the thing is as well, I think what people got to remember back then in sort of 94 was in Copenhagen, the final was, we played a top Parma side in Italy. Serie A back in the early 90s was an incredible league, incredible levels. I mean, that Parma side had, you know, international goalkeeper and Luca Bucci in goal for Italy. You had Apolloni at the back for Italy. You had Sensini for Argentina. You had Thomas Brolin, Faustino Asbria. You had some unbelievable footballers. And we had Ian Wright suspended for the final. Martin Keown was missing through injury. And if there's any one game that for me sums up 1-0 to the Arsenal, it was that night in Copenhagen. We rid our luck a little bit, but we was dogged, we was determined, and 1-0 to the Arsenal. Let's see if I can get the goal up. Oh, let me share the screen. 2 seconds. If I can get it up. 2 secs. Can you guys see it? Let me see if I can get it up.
I can hear
I
it.
can't get it up. No, it's not going to work. Apologies. I did try. But yeah, that's our best memories, man. And it's 94, and we've not won an European trophy since. 4 straight European final defeats. And I think that's the biggest tragedy about Arsenal Football Club for me. I don't know if you guys agree that a club of our size and our stature has only ever won 2 European trophies, which is a shame. And 99-4 is a long time. So, yeah, I'm going to move on to sort of guys in the comments. Thank you for dropping in your comments. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And like I said, follow my guys on their Twitter handles and their YouTube channels. But I'm going to bring in RJ Wills again because I want to ask you this question, and I'd like the other people as well. During your time watching football, who's the best player you've ever seen play and why?
Best ever player? Is it non-Arsenal related or Arsenal?
I'm going to say non-Arsenal, worldwide, mate, if you want to. In your time.
Probably have to say one player that mesmerized me as a kid. Ronaldinho, man. That guy just did some crazy skills. There's been so many timeless moments. That goal he did against Chelsea, man, where he just, I don't know what he did. He just moved his leg. He did an MJ move and just flicked it in. I'm like, what? And obviously the painful one against England, that one, he made Seaman look like a clown. And there's been too many moments. I mean, oh my God, Dino for me, he was just, and I remember back then there was a debate of who was the best, R9 or him, and it's like R9 was amazing as well. But Ronaldinho, man, his skills were just, I ain't seen no one do skills like him. So it has to be Ronaldinho, man, hands down. Like too many times I was memorized. Too many times.
No, you know what? I agree. I said this to someone. I was had a conversation with one of my mates a long time ago. You know, we talk about YouTube highlights and reels and whatever. If you go and look at a YouTube highlight reel of JJ Okocha, right, or Ronaldinho, they're gonna have you in stitches. The way they used to destroy footballers, it should be a crime to be doing that to footballers on the pitch. It's unbelievable. Honestly, some of the stuff I've seen is unbelievable. It's incredible. I'm going to put the same question I'm going to go to Sophie, actually. Sort of, who's a player that's kind of thought, you know what? That person's different class, or who's the one that sort of made an impression on you, sort of watching football in the time you've watched it?
Do you know what? That question is so difficult. Like,
there's so many good players.
I actually do agree, though, Fred. I really think Ronaldinho, like, I just think, like, he was unstoppable. Like, the freedom he had on the pitch, he'd get past so many people. Like, it's just, like, ridiculous, and especially his dribbling skills. Like, I think he was the best, in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm going to go him. Even though Ronaldo and Messi, they are, like, the best. But, personally, for me, Ronaldinho is going to be up there.
No, it's just, you know what? That's a good shout, man. Like I said, I've seen some highlight reels. That guy, his skill level, natural ability was insane, man. And I'm gonna come to Jess. Jess, who's a footballer just said, you know what? That's my guy, man.
Well, if you've seen my Twitter handle, you would know that it's the exact same thing that they've already said. It's Ronaldinho by far. Nobody's even close for me. He's really the player that, like, I mean, Arsenal obviously fell in love with them, but I don't get attached to players. But he was just another level. And it wasn't just about the skills, it was the joy that he played with. And quite frankly, that entire Brazil team had that same freedom and love for the game that we don't really see now. Everything is very sterile. And to be honest, I had a very hard time with Pep when he came to Barcelona because he got rid of Ronaldinho and he got rid of the freedom play. And we really went to more of that structured, systemized playing. And to me, it's been the end of that free, fun game that I think we all kind of fell in love with. But Ronaldinho really represents that. He had players on skates, but he did it with a smile. Like, you know, and even to the latter ends of him playing, he still had that smile. And we just don't see that. It's so serious now. So I don't know. He's just the best player I've ever seen ever, like by a lot, just because of everything. I know Messi, like Sophie said, Messi and Ronaldo are the best players, but when we're talking about like the most exciting, the most joy-filled, amazing players, he has to be up there. I don't know anybody else.
God, look at that. 3 Ronaldinhos, man. Anthony, man, the pressure's on, bruv. Like, come on, man. No pressure, man. Who's the guy that you said, you know what, this guy's the main man?
You know what? You're killing me here, right? Because obviously I was going to say Thierry Henry, but then you said it's non-Arsenal, yeah? So I was going to say Ronaldinho, and everyone else said it. So I said, you know what? No one's going to say JJ Okocha. And of course, Albert,
some people said it. I've had a couple people say it in the chat.
Yeah, you threw it out there. So you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit different. As much as I want to say Ronaldinho, JJ Okocha, someone like that, for me, Zinedine Zidane. I gotta go with Zinedine Zidane. I have to look.
Andy stole my thunder, but go on, mate. Go on, bro.
Yeah, look, like I said, Ronaldinho is probably the most skillful, footballer I've ever seen. But like for just all round, like Zinedine Zidane, just the ultimate player. I still remember like it was yesterday watching that Champions League final when he scored that volley against Leverkusen.
Let me see if I can find it. Keep talking, bro.
Man, absolute screamer. I was in France on holiday for the 1998 while the World Cup was on in France. And I can remember the resort we were at. France were in the final against Brazil. And I can just remember the reaction, of the French people, like towards Zidane. Like he was an absolute god. And you could see why, like they absolutely idolized him. Like just what a player. What a player. Yeah.
Even Jess is like, I might change my mind,
Getting chills watching that here. Like, what?
It's incredible. It was an incredible goal, honestly.
Crazy. And you know what, though?
So perfectly as well.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It was a normal thing for him just to score goals like that, As same as Ronaldinho, like they never seem to score boring goals, They're just quality. So yeah, look, I go Zidane just to be a little bit different. I don't think he's a bad choice.
I might be biased, but that's a perfect choice.
Yeah.
But that goal, I had to show that goal. You took the word. It's unbelievable finish, man. Hampden Park, 2002. That's a very good Bayer Leverkusen side that made the final that year. Michael Ballack was playing for Bayer Leverkusen then. But for me, Zidane, I had this conversation with one of my mates about a few months ago, right? He's going, Ronaldo and Messi. I said, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. If somebody asks you who's the best player you've seen, Zidane for me I love the guy to pieces. He had ability, his control on the ball, the balance, good in the air, pass, assists, goals, skill-wise, it's just insane. You couldn't knock him off the ball. And I remember when he came, we had Euro 96 in this country, right? Zidane came with a massive billing. I think he played for Bordeaux at the time. He got French Footballer of the Year. Everyone was looking at him, who's this guy? France flopped in the tournament. Zidane didn't have a great tournament. So people were like, what's the fuss? What's all this talk about this guy? He put that right 2 years later when he won the World Cup. To me, he's the best player that I have seen. I just think he was different class. And I think for me, the thing that proves to me what a fantastic player he was is the fact that we all remember what happened in the World Cup final in 2006, the headbutt of Materazzi and whatever. But people still talk about how good this player was. And I think if you can talk about a player in that kind of way, even with what's happened, different class. So Zizou, man, and yeah, the best player that I've seen personally. Amazing footballer. Great man, not too bad manager, but I think some of the Madrid players might disagree with that, to be honest with you. So now, guys, thanks for your amazing insight, man. Guys, keep your comments coming in the chat. As I keep saying, man, hit that like button and subscribe to my people channel. Right, so let's go on the next thing. Then if I can find it, where's it gone? This is a good question. Mind you, I've got the Alan Smith thing I'm going to bring up a bit later. Brilliant goal. I'm going to kick off with Jess, actually.
Mm-hmm. What made me decide? I was reading the question.
No, you read it. It's fine, Jess. You can read it. It's fine.
Okay, so what made me decide to get into creating a football YouTube channel? So, I think it really starts with lockdown. I think a lot of us needed something to do, something to take our minds off of things, especially because we weren't able to see a lot of games until they came back. And, that's when I really kind of discovered like Arsenal YouTube and just football YouTube in general. And I watched pretty much all the shows, and I thought it was awesome. I was like, look at these people, like they're really putting themselves out there and the content is good, and I loved it. But at that time, I really wasn't thinking about starting any channel of my own. And then I got on Twitter and I started putting my thoughts out there and started meeting people through there. I'm very opinionated. If you know me, like I do put my opinion out there. Like that's
Really,
just me. Yeah. So and then it was like a random night. I really was in like a Target parking lot, like going like texting or tweeting away at the Bearded Gooner, Tanner. And we started going back and forth, and he was like, hey, message me, I want to ask you something. And he, we were talking, and he was like, I really would like to, maybe have a show with you or just create some content. And I was like, cool, let's see. And I did some, appearances on Same Old Arsenal USA, and, it really just grew from there. And pretty much from the first time I like started talking, I was like, yeah, I think I could do this. Like, this is really fun. And for me, just being able to talk to Arsenal fans all the time makes me happy because I'm obsessed with the club, I'm obsessed with my team. And out here, there's nobody I really talk to. Like, honestly, my friends don't even know I do this. They have no clue I even do this. They don't even know I'm here. Like, so, I just like it mostly for the camaraderie kind of thing, like being able to talk to other people, and it's just been fun. So that's pretty much why I started. I really just kind of fell into it.
Jess, great story, man. Great story. Jess, I had no idea he was opinionated. I'm being serious. I'm being very serious. But I'm gonna go to actually, I'm gonna come to Sophie actually. Yeah, Sophie. So yeah, what I know we've had chats and you said to me you haven't sort of done it for very long, but yeah, so what was sort of the thing that gave you the push to sort of make you start creating your own football YouTube channel?
It's not that interesting, but I remember like I'd watch a lot of YouTubers talking about football, and I just thought that looks nice, like what they're doing. It's like a big step putting yourself out there, and I just found that interesting. And like I never really thought about doing it. I kind of just watched it because I enjoyed it. And I remember like my brother saying to me one day, "You should actually like start a channel." And then I started thinking about it more, and I just thought like, why not? Because like I'm the only Arsenal fan in my house, and like I've got no one to talk to. And I think when you film yourself, you feel better when you've had a rant about things. So you talk to other Arsenal fans, and then that's all how it started. It's not very fascinating, but yeah.
I was going to say, before I come to Anthony and Jess, I'm sorry. Before I come to Anthony, sorry, Jess and Sophie, I want to quickly ask you. So, is it gone out of my head? No, I was going to say, how have you found it so far? Sort of doing the YouTube channel in terms of like pros and cons, because I've had many chats with my guys. RJ, I've had many chats. Anthony, a lot of guys off camera, which I'm going to touch on a bit later with the final subject. But yeah, how have you found sort of the pros and cons of YouTube so far? I'm going to kick off with Sophie.
I mean, I'm quite new to it, so like I think Jess is probably a bit more. She knows what she's doing a bit more. I've just kind of done it a few months, and I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. Like, but
you do it all right, Sophie. You do it all right.
I think like the positives are that it's good to connect with like other people that are like they like the same thing as you, and it's good that I've actually met like people that I probably wouldn't have ever met if I didn't start it. 100%. I don't really know like negatives because like I'm quite new to all, and like I don't really know, to be honest. I guess I could say is that like people might not agree with what you're saying, you might get negative comments, or
happens a lot.
That could be it. But I think like in life people will like you, people won't. So I just think you should always just push yourself out there, and that's probably what I've just done. And also I did find it's like when you watch YouTube videos, it's so easy to just sit there and watch it, and in your head you kind of think it's going to be easy, but it's actually not. It's really hard working, film, video editing, everything.
No, no. You know what? That's actually quite a relevant point, which I'm going to touch on a bit more with the final topic. But Jess, coming to you, hit me with your pros and cons, man. Your experience.
Well, I've only really been doing this for like 2 months, so I don't have that much experience in this. But the one thing I can say is that being a female in this space is a little bit, I can understand why it might be difficult for some women to want to put their opinions out there, because there are just some men that don't want to hear what you have to say, and they'll literally just disagree with you because they just have to have the opposite opinion. It doesn't bother me because, again, I'm very opinionated. I'm confident in what I'm saying, so it is what it is, but some of the comments, you really have to have a strong mind. And even men get comments too that are negative, inappropriate, things that you really shouldn't be saying. I understand why, the cyberbullying thing is so big, because you can really be faceless out there and just kind of do whatever you want, and there's really no repercussions for your actions. But the cons for me have just kind of been, and it's really for me just more like, I have to have the right mindset, but people feeling like because I'm a woman, I shouldn't be talking about this. And if you feel that way, not going to work. Still going to be talking about it. So there you go. And the pros are just being able to meet so many Arsenal fans. Like, I love it. Like, now I have so many different friends. Like, I was telling Albert, I can't wait till we can actually travel and I can go out there and meet you guys for real. It's just, that has been the best part about it for me, is just meeting new people.
There's gonna be some mad link ups we're allowed to go get up. Listen, the UK, LA, Ireland, wherever everybody else is, London. I never know where Ryan lives. He's in somewhere in London. I can't remember. But the link ups are gonna be mad. Trust me, man. They're gonna have to give us a separate stadium for the amount of people that collab together. But no, let me come to. I'm gonna come to Anthony. Yeah, my friend. How have you sort of, what made you decide to sort of want to do content creating in like YouTube football?
Yeah, well, look, definitely, I think lockdown was a huge part of it. I am a bit of a workaholic, and I was trying to fill the void. I'm used to working 50, 60 hours a week, and it all just came to a standstill. And I was walking around the house going, what am I going to do with myself? I'm usually talking to people about football, and nobody here wants to listen to me talk about football. My 5-year-old daughter is sick of listening to me talking about football. So I was like, I need to find a way to talk about it. And a friend of mine, he has his own blog. It's not football related, but he does a few different bits and pieces online. So, I got talking to him, and we sort of had an idea. He's actually a Spurs fan. He's one of my best friends. He's a Spurs fan. And we thought it'd be kind of cool, an Arsenal fan, a Spurs fan, maybe create a podcast, and it's going to be pretty controversial, So we thought it might be a fun idea, but for various reasons it didn't work out. He's gone a different direction, and I've gone mine. But what it did was we did a few kind of like practice run podcasts, and it kind of gave me the confidence to kind of say, you know what, I think maybe I could do this by myself. So I did that, and I started off with an audio only podcast on Spotify and that. And to be honest, I did it.
Sorry, Andy, Russ.
Yeah.
Russ.
me too. But, so like from doing the audio, I'll be honest, I wasn't really feeling the audio only. I started it back in November, and I did it for about a month or so, and I kind of said, I don't know if I'm going to keep this up. And Gary's actually a big part of the next part of my story. But from doing the audio podcast, I set up a Twitter account. I had a personal Twitter account that I never ever used, so I set one up for the podcast. And through that, I got a message one day from Ray from Arsenal Fan Circle, saying, look, he said, first of all, I'm from Ireland too, and I came across your podcast, and would you fancy coming on the channel? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then he told me there was cameras and stuff involved, and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can sit in front of a camera doing this. So I was like, I don't even like the sound of my own voice, let alone looking at my own face on screen. So look, I went on the channel, and big shout out to Gary, Ray, all the guys. They were like, they made me really, really comfortable, made me feel really welcome, and made me feel like my opinion was valued and valid. So it spiraled then from from that, you know, a couple of appearances and again, just built up the confidence and sort of said, you know what, yeah, I think I could give this a shot. Never thought it was going to go the direction it's gone, you know, with kind of interviewing and stuff like that. Never thought I'd have the confidence to do it. But look, little by little, we're getting there. So yeah, that's kind of how I broke into this.
Anthony, proud of you, bruv. Well said, man. Well said, man. Right, before I come to Ryan, I've managed to get. I'll talk to you earlier about obviously my favorite moments. Arsenal fan Alan Smith. I've got the footage now. Let me see if I can get it up. This is a beautiful goal. Let me see if I can find out. Give me 2 sets, guys. Bear with me. Right, let's get. Where's it gone? Here we go. It's gonna come up now. Memories. Go on, Smithy. Go on, son. And what's it? Kevin Campbell, obviously. Good old KC was there. Go on, you Gunners. Brilliant memories, man. Beautiful goal.
I miss fans so much. Like when you watch old videos and you see fans in the stands, you can it's really different. It sucks without fans.
Yeah, the Palmer was a top side, like I said, top side back then.
Nice.
We had Ian Wright missing as well, so brilliant memories. Glenn in the chat, there it is, mate. Bang, go on, Smithy. There you have it, guys. So Ryan, let me come to you. Memories, man. Honestly, like, yeah, one of my most definitely. So Ryan, yeah, my friend, my bro. We've collabed together quite a few times. So yeah, what sort of made you give the guys an idea and the people in the chat? What made you sort of get into the YouTube side of football, mate?
Well, originally I was on YouTube. I was doing wrestling at first, right? Because I was a big WWE fan at the time. Not so much now, but but like after a while, you know, I've been watching everybody doing their content, and you know, I've seen you as well. I saw other channels, you know, AFTV, same old Arsenal, etc. And I was just like, well, I'm doing wrestling. Why don't I just do Arsenal? Because again, like you, Sophie, and like Anthony as well, and Jess, I'm sure, like there's no one really to talk to. My mum, she supports Liverpool, but she don't really watch football no more. Do you know what I'm saying? She's just all in Formula One. You know, I've got my cousin who supports Chelsea. That doesn't help. One of my best friends support United. My other best friend supports Tottenham. My other best friend supports Arsenal, but he's just not about it. So I just thought, you know what, fun it. Let me just go out there and, you know, try it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there are some pros and cons. I remember at like one of my old workplaces, because sometimes I just used to just record videos on my lunch break and stuff like that. Like that's how dedicated I was. And I remember there was a video I made. I think it was when Xhaka was announced the captain during Emery's reign. That whole 5 captaincy rubbish. And there was a comment in the video at the below. There was like, someone said, "Get back to work, you toxic bum." I couldn't stop laughing my head off. Cause I was just like, how are you calling me a bum? I'm in my work uniform and you're telling me to get back to work. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was hilarious. And then we all know what happened with that situation with Xhaka and the captaincy. So, you know, I just, after that, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of slip off a little bit, probably because Arsenal was feeding me up. But you know, I have to give Albert thanks, you know, because you know I spoke to him obviously on Twitter as well, like, "Yo, I love what you've done," because I've checked out his content, and then you know, I thought I need to get back in the game, man, because I love this. I love talking about Arsenal, and it just kept me going. So again, you know, Albert, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for your help. And you know, all the other YouTubers out there, man, like they just keep me going. And to be honest, I'm having fun doing this, even though Arsenal dragged me through the mud sometimes, like today. But I enjoy it. It's something I've been very passionate about in such a long time. So yeah, man, that's pretty much what it was. That's how the story is.
Yeah,
you know.
Listen, like great various stories. Now, Ryan, much respect to you. Thanks for that, man. Let me ask myself the question. I mean, I've been very, very open for the guys who has known me since before YouTube and meeting people through YouTube. Yeah, I've been very open with my life sort of going on outside of it. And sometimes you need sometimes something happens. It can be quite negative in my case, to be honest. Like people said to me, like in the last 2-3 years, like they're surprised that I haven't sort of looked into it, got into it. And I didn't really have a reason why, if I'm being totally honest with you. I just didn't. I mean, I go to the games when I'm a Red member. I go when I can. I like to think I'll talk a little bit of sense when it comes to Arsenal. Contrary to opinion, probably. But yeah, like I said, sort of losing my mum to COVID, there's been a lot of, in the first lockdown, there's been a lot of things still going on now. And I had a sort of private conversation with my eldest sister who said, look, this is something you should look into, because, you know, as long as, you know, I'm your older sister, you love football, you love Arsenal, why not try and do something about it? So I said, okay, look, I'll get into it. Complete novice. I always say this to anyone that encounters me. I'm not no expert. Listen, I learn from scratch. I'm not no IT whiz kid. I just talk a lot, which a lot of people will vouch for, and I roll with the punches. So that's kind of what got me into it. And obviously, there's been some very, very helpful people. Big up Dan Pot, same old Arsenal, in terms of networking. Ryan, I've come across, obviously, and I mean, like I said, me and Ryan and a lot of people had a lot of private chats in terms of sort of the pros and cons of YouTube. And I said it's, and Jess has been on my channel before. Sophie probably saw some of my content. Like it's not easy, because as much as you want to sort of open out yourself to people and work with people and collab with people, it's not everybody you're going to work with. It's not because you're arrogant. It's not because you're too busy. Sometimes it is, but it's just, you got to save a little bit for yourself, man. And listen, I've reached out to people. Not everybody wants to work with me, but I'm not going to sit here and start crying about it, because there's a whole 100 million content creators out there that will want to work with you. You know, retweeting is free the last time I checked. It's not an issue for me. I want to help promote people's stuff, you know. So it's that's kind of the story as to how I got into it. And yeah, we're kind of here now doing live streams and having my amazing guest here on to talk about it. And yeah, that's it. So guys, as I keep saying, smash that like and follow my esteemed guests. A couple people in the chat. Here we go. And you should read some comment. Big up International Goonies. Your support is appreciated. Arsenal strong. Great comment. Cheers, Aslan Khan. Glenn's in the chat. Big up, Glenn. Been on the channel a few times. You know, never stop. You have to start from somewhere. 1,000,000% my Kenyan brother. Right now, this is to our coming to our final point, guys. Your insight and your sort of, you know, how you got started has been brilliant to find out. I said when I started this content series, you know, yeah, I love Arsenal football, but I wanted to do something a bit different, and then this is something that kind of taps into that. So we're gonna get the last thing up now. YouTube content creators respecting your community. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say my masterpiece or my sort of speech, Winston Churchill speech, and then I'll bring the guys in to get their opinions. I've had many discussions with the likes of RJ and Anthony. I had a couple of chats with Sophie, Jess. I've had chats with live stream and off air as well. I've noticed a couple of things in terms of like YouTube and Arsenal content creators. Everyone has a different reason as to why they're doing this. That's first and foremost. Some reasons are not very good. Blatantly, it stares you in the face. I see it. Some people have good intentions. Do I want to make a success of YouTube? Absolutely. Why not? That's the first thing I'll say. Will I always get it right? Possibly not. But I've got a lot of common sense and intelligence. But yeah, some of the things I've seen in terms of people's behaviors in terms of other YouTube content creators. What I've been seeing over the last recent months and for quite a long time is, one thing I like to think I do is respect people's channels. And what I mean by that is I've noticed a couple of people, there's probably quite more than a couple, but a couple that I've noticed who pop up on people's live streams, come up in the chat, act like they're engaging with the rest of the chat and the live stream, and self-promote. Stop your nonsense. You don't do that. It's disrespectful. If you're a content creator and you're confident in what you do, if you want to follow someone on Twitter, do so. If you want to follow somebody on Instagram, do it. If you want to DM somebody, say you like their work, you want to collaborate with them, you do it. You don't pop up on people's live streams and disrespect their channel by promoting your channel on the live streams. It's bang out of order. Stop your nonsense. And the thing that makes it worse for me is amongst RJ Wills, amongst Jess, Anthony, Guna Soul, Mr. Arsenal, Guna Rich, we have our chats. We know who the people are that are going out doing that. Be credible in your content making. Stop trying to take shortcuts, like my friend Callum McFadden said in the first episode. Be confident in what you do. Don't be doing what you're doing because it's wrong. If you want to come on someone's chat and have a footballing opinion, do it. Engage in the conversation, engage in the content, but don't be self-promoting because you're taking the piss. Sorry to swear, but I had to get this off my chest because it's annoyed me for quite a while. And the people know who are doing it. We're very, very aware of who's doing it. Do you want subscribers that badly you're willing to shit on other channels to promote your stuff? Does that feel okay to you? Because you obviously must feel threatened or there's something wrong or you're jealous, or stick to your own lane. Stop copying people's ideas. People are trying to get on and be a success at something. If that's too much for you, come off of YouTube because I haven't got time for it. So for me, to people who think that I'm talking about them, it probably is you. I'll tell you straight. You want to come on my channel and dislike every video? Good luck to you. If it makes you feel better, knock yourself out. But I'm telling you now, if you keep on continuing, I'll just block you. You want to talk about football, Arsenal, England, World Cup, managers, whatever, do it. Not a problem. But if it's not that, don't come and watch my channel. Don't come and be disrespectful to my other Arsenal content creators who put out good, credible content and confidently. So yeah, let me stop. I'm going to bring in Anthony, but before you say something, mate, I just obviously when I have certain shows and I talk about certain things, I always make you guys aware that I'm going to bring up because I don't like to ambush people with certain things. That's not how I do things personally. So I always give you guys a heads up on certain things. So Anthony, just in case you wanted to add anything to it, mate, what I just said.
Yeah, look, I agree 100%. You're spot on, and like, there's no point in sugarcoating it. I think we've all seen it go on, and maybe it's happened on. I know it's happened on my channel.
Yeah. And
like, what I'd say is, like, we're a fairly, open arms, welcoming community of content creators. We're more than willing to talk to people and offer advice and offer experience that we've had and whatever else. So like, this whole, as you say, kind of like sabotaging someone else's live stream in order to promote. If you want to promote yourself, look at the opportunity Albert has given, the four panelists here. You want to promote yourself, sit here and talk football, talk Arsenal, and, let your opinion and personality be your promotion. Don't feel the need to come in and, say, oh, check out my channel. I talk about this here, or, I have this opinion. Like, come on the panel and give us your opinion. And look, if people like you, or if people are interested in what you're saying, they will go back to your channel. They will subscribe. So there's ways of doing it. There are ways of doing it. There's opportunities. And like I said, look, we're all pretty approachable. So if you want to have a conversation and whatever, that's the way to do it.
Well said. Sophie, I know I'm going to bring you in. I know you haven't been doing it long, but we've had chats, like I said, about this very subject. And like I said, if I can give any advice at all for the short time I've been doing it, I will try and help you the best I can. I'm sure Anthony will do it. I'm sure RJ will do it. I'm sure Jess will definitely do it. Yeah, Sophie, what's your sort of thoughts on my my thoughts about certain disrespect, should I say?
Yeah, I do. I think that's obviously totally unacceptable to do. I think when you do live streams and stuff, whoever's watching should always say what they think and stuff. But I think that's just disrespectful to do that. I think that I don't think. Sorry. I think that's really unacceptable to do. I just think that have to do your channel your own way, not by going on someone else. Like you can't lean on someone else to get success, to get like more followers, subscribers. You've got to do it on your own. So yeah, I think that's like out of order, and I think like you won't agree with everyone's content as well. They might not be your cup of tea, but just don't watch or do something else.
100%. No, I wouldn't disagree. Like I said, I wanted to sort of bring this up quite a while now, but no, Sophie, appreciate that. RJ, I'm going to come to you, my friend. Give me your thoughts, because we've spoken about this in length quite a few times.
Yes, and there seems to be one troll out there, but they won't be named in the round. But anyways, there's always one person, and I don't like the self-promotion thing. Like you guys already said, like if you don't like what's being said, do your own thing. There's nothing wrong. The floor is open. There's no point trying to come up in live streams and write in the comment section of the group box, writing with a link, subscribe 100%. To my channel and this, that, and the third. It's so disrespectful. I don't like it. Like, if you want to work with each other, then inbox. You know what I mean? Like, even on my channel, I put in my comments, listen, if you want to chat to me, here's where you can get at me. Like, we're all in this together. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We all should be helping each other, not trying to tear each other down as well. And I've been in other live streams and I've seen someone write in a comment, oh, why don't you shout me out and this, that, and the third? And I see the same old person time and time again. And it's annoying. And what I don't like is people stealing other people's ideas.
Yes.
Blatantly stealing people's other ideas. Amen. Going up in the inbox. Oh, where did you do this? Where did you get that? Like, I know what you're doing. I'm not stupid. Why am I going to tell you my secrets here? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you go and do what you're going to do, because I see what you've been trying to do. You know what I mean? But in the end, self-promotion, I'm not about that. We're supposed to be a team. We all got to help each other out. That's what I'm on. I'm not on this selfish crap. Sorry for my language. But you just got to do what you got to do, So I got to really say about it,
No, I appreciate the comments, guys. Anthony, RJ, and Sophie. Jess, the floor is yours. I want to hear your forthright and frank opinions.
Okay, so this actually hasn't happened in any of my streams up to this point. If it has, it wasn't brought to my attention. But the one thing I can say, if you are somebody who is going into other people's live streams and promoting yourself and you're stealing people's ideas, there's no shortcut to success on YouTube. It's a very, very, very long game. You can look at big channels all you want and think all I have to do is just, do exactly what they do. And there's a lot of hard work, dedication, prep work. This is full scale production behind the scenes. And a lot of it is for very little reward. It's going to take a long time for you to get where you want to go. So if you're trying to take shortcuts and you're doing it by going in people's live streams and being obnoxious, quit now. Shut down your little channel. Just, delete your Twitter and just go find something else to do. Because not only are you never going to make it, but you're disrespecting people that are putting in the work. And that's just unacceptable. You're going to get called out. Your name is going to be dragged through the mud. And you're not going to get anywhere with that. So if you think it's going to work, it's not. You can clip me. It's not going to work. And just stop. Just stop. Literally, people, I don't care how big or small your channel is. There's a lot of work that goes into this. And it's completely disrespectful for you to do that kind of stuff. Again, it hasn't happened to me. But wow, that's insane. But yeah, definitely the stealing of the ideas, that is just on a whole nother level of low. If you can't be creative, just quit. Just quit. Just go. We don't need that. This is a very accepting community of people that really care about each other and try to help each other. And we don't need you here. Period.
Well said. You know what it is for me as well? It's the fact that it's like I said earlier, most people, not everyone's got most people got Instagram or Twitter or both. These guys don't follow any of us. I know that for a fact. They don't follow me, Ryan, Anthony at all. But you're trolling through YouTube. How much content there is out there. So you systematically trolling through YouTube, going on live stream after live stream after live stream, and doing the same thing. I think that people don't notice. It's crazy behavior. Like I said, stick to your own lane, be credible in your content, and if it's too much for you, leave the platform, man. So
just
yeah,
really
go on,
quick
Jess.
too, Albert, is that Glenn is saying that some people don't know it's disrespectful, and if that's the case, what I can tell you is that maybe what you want to do instead is genuinely go into somebody's DMs and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get my channel off the ground. Can we collaborate?" You know, there's nothing wrong with asking people how they got where they got to, but what is disrespectful is just copying their work. A lot of people in this community are very, very helpful. So if you think that this is the way to go about it, it's not. There are ways that even just retweeting other people's things, you know, that'll be helpful. And then somebody will do it back for you. But you have to do the work.
Yes.
You know, so if you're at the point where you're like, well, I didn't know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but just try to be genuine, you know, and you're going to have to do the work. That's period, you know.
Yeah, what I'd say to Anthony, I know you say something. Sorry, Glenn. What I will say to that is, in regards to what you're saying, which I take that point, but what I will say to that is the particular individuals I'm talking about, and that the other guys are aware of, who content create with me, they know what they're doing, and when you know what you're doing, it's very disrespectful, and that's what I'll say to that. Sorry, Andy, was you going to say something? Sorry, mate.
No, look, I was just going to say basically to that, just to steal a famous line. If they don't know, now they know.
100%. Well said. Absolutely. Guys, it has been cathartic. It has been good. Life Stories Part 2. Big up to the guys in the chat. Great interaction. I tried to get through some questions that I could if I could. So apologies if I couldn't. Smash the like button. And you see my guys' Twitter handles on the page. Go and follow them ASAP. So I'm going to come to the guy to say, Anthony, thank you again once for coming on my channel. Where can the guys find you, my friend?
Yeah, look, it's a pleasure. I'm really happy to come on the channel anytime. And I've said this in the past, and I wasn't just saying it when I first, you know, kind of started contemplating the idea of YouTube. I did watch your channel from the start, and I was like, you know what, he seems like one of the coolest. I'm not gonna finish that, but you get the idea. And yeah, completely caught me by surprise when you messaged me to collab going back a while ago. I was like, really? Has he got the right guy here? So yeah, look, I'm still I'm pinching myself, you know, every time I get the message. I was like, yeah, I know Albert JTV, but yeah, no, you can find me at Republic of Arsenal. So yeah, like I said, it's a pleasure as always.
No, honestly, thanks. Now, what I'll say to that, sorry, quickly before I come to the other guys, is what it is, and I've said this to many of you guys. It's difficult. It's a difficult balance between giving people an opportunity and sort of, like I said, it's not everyone you're going to work with, man, because you just need to just pull it back a little bit. But listen, it's a tough balance. It is. It's a tough balance. So RJ, my friend, thank you for coming on. Where can the guys find you, my friend?
Anytime, Albert. I want to thanks. Nice meeting everybody. First time I got to speak to you all guys without Twitter, but it's nice to meet everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, guys, you can get me on Twitter at RJ Wills, and obviously my YouTube channel is there, Ryan Williams AFC. I'm just honest. If you don't agree with me, leave it in the comment section. If you do agree with me, leave it in the comment section. I love to hear from everybody. But again, guys, thanks again. And Albert, always a pleasure, man. Love on the channel working with you, bro.
And I had my Star Striker debut in Sophie on the channel. Sophie, keep up the amazing work you're doing so far. We got your back, so don't worry about it. Honestly, trust me. And if you want to ask, the guys are here, man. We're here to help. So yeah, where can the guys find you, Sophie, to your channel and Twitter?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on here. It's nice to meet everyone for the first time as well. And yeah, my Twitter is TV_Guna, and my Instagram is Guna Gossip TV, and my YouTube is Guna Gossip TV.
Brilliant, guys. For the ones that out there that don't like multitasking, watch the show again and then follow everybody else anyway. And last but not least, Jess, it's just senior. Talk to me. Where can the guys find you? Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Albert's like one of my favorite people in this community, like by far. Like, well, no offense to anybody else, but like me and Albert are like besties. Like, I love Albert. Like, he's the coolest.
The feel is mutual.
Yeah, so the first time you didn't give me the outfit instructions, but then the second time you did.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so
I thought you might mention that again. Yeah, thanks.
yeah, but you guys can find me on Twitter at It's Jessinho. And then in these YouTube streets, you can always find me if you just go into the YouTube search bar and put in She Knows Arsenal. I'll pop up. I have my own channel now, but you know, I have my post-match shows, my match previews, and the instant reactions. So you'll just find me there. Just follow me there and let's hang out. You know, yeah.
But guys, my Arsenal family, love you to pieces. It's been brilliant. RJ, do you want to say well done on getting over over 100, whatever, how many you got now subs on your channel?
102. But thanks.
Nice.
Thanks again.
No, it's good. Big up RJ, man. That's it, man. Consistency. You put the work in.
I try.
No, you try.
Well,
But guys, the chat,
that,
this has been a live stories. I've enjoyed doing, man. I've got no idea when I'll do the next one, but I will come up with something very quickly, very soon. As you know, I am the host, Albert JTV. Easy to find, YouTube, Albert JTV. Twitter handle at AUMO57. As I always say to people, don't even think about it. Just come and do it, please. So, yeah, guys, that is it. That is me, Albert JTV, over and out. # live stories part 2. See you for another day.